Welcome everybody back to a special CWR TV. This is the Halloween edition.
Not only is it the Halloween edition, it's the final episode of CWR heading into Lethal Dosage, the most dangerous pay-per-view of CWR.
We have some good matches lined up for that. The main event is going to be that man right there, Chris Iron, the #1 contender for the CWR Championship. He's going to face off in an I Quit match against Ryan the Cool Guy Chambers.
But before that, he's got a rematch tonight from last episode of CWR against the Nightmare Christopher Crossworthy.
Well, you saw Crossworthy after he was beating down Woody the Clown after the match. Iron came out and sort of saved Woody the Clown there. Something a little uncharacteristic from Iron. But he did nonetheless, but then he got black flipped for his troubles on the outside, and that man, Chris Crossworthy, was left standing.
And because of that, this is what leads us to this one-on-one match here tonight on CWR TV.
If you have to think if Crossworthy gets a win here, like we were saying last time, that he has to be put in that title picture, I would think. He has a very solid win-loss record, and there's little respect. Oh, nope. That was an impressive move.
That was insane, just turning Chris Iron upside down, inside out.
He just flipped him like a rag doll. I thought Crossworthy was going to show a little respect to Iron, but I was mistaken right there. Oh, and the fans once again with the "You're a faggot" chant to Chris Crossworthy. I don't know what his sexual orientation is, but he's very impressive in the ring.
Well, obviously the fans not behind Christopher Crossworthy in this match, and Chris Iron looking to gain some huge momentum here in this matchup, heading into his I Quit match at Lethal Dosage.
There's a nice spinning wheel kick, but Crossworthy now back on the offensive. Oh, and a very nice suplex from the Nightmare. Crossworthy choking Iron down in the corner. I think I'm going to give the edge to Crossworthy here. He has the momentum after leaving Iron face up on the ground on the outside after hitting the black flip.
Well, obviously he does have the momentum here, but Chris Iron looking to gain some momentum heading into that I Quit match, much like Chambers is going to try to do later tonight when we get our main event for what should have been for last week's show. It will be the champion Ryan Chambers and the main event Adam McCarley taking on the Mexus. Don't forget also, we saw the conclusion of the last episode of CWR, the Mexus walking out of the arena with the CWR Championship in hand. And as far as I know, they still have possession of that championship.
And you gotta think the Cool Guy isn't happy about that. He's been in a lot of matches to keep that title. And he doesn't even lose the match, but he still lost his title. Oh, and a nice sunset flip from Iron there, but only a 2 count as Crossworthy kicks out. Oh, and then he takes a breather on the outside.
Well, after that sunset flip, Crossworthy caught a little off guard there, taking a little breather, wants no more Chris Iron right now.
Come on, get back in the ring. That's what you tell him, Iron.
Iron challenging him to get back in the ring, and allowing him to get back in the ring cleanly.
Let's go.
A little respect from Chris Iron there. Oh, going nice duck under. Oh, and there's a little amateur wrestling from Chris Iron. You usually see that from Crossworthy.
Well, that was very impressive. Iron using Crossworthy's own game against him, and
now paintbrushing the back of the head.
Well, so much for that respect thing we were talking about just a few minutes ago.
Crossworthy doesn't look too happy with that. I don't know if I'd want to do that to Crossworthy. Get into the amateur wrestling game. Collar elbow tie up there. Crossworthy pushing Iron back in that corner. Oh, and kicks to the gut. Tossing Iron into the corner. Oh, and a body splash. Very nice body splash from the very dense Chris Crossworthy. Oh, and
Iron gets the foot up there, catching catching Crossworthy off guard, sending him to the mat now.
No, I think there may be a little bit too many Chris's in this match. Getting a little tongue-tied, but very nice rear neck breaker Hangman's neck breaker on Crossworthy.
That neck breaker, Iron really likes to utilize that move in all of his matches there. Really devastating maneuver, and now focusing on the arm there.
You got that right. He's probably trying to take away some of that power that
now Iron here getting Crossworthy. Oh!
And against that, there's a metal pole and that wooden support beam.
And the forearm and the wrist of Crossworthy right across there. Now back to the submission move, focusing on that arm.
He's trying to hyperextend that elbow, and he's also tweaking that shoulder, maybe trying to pop it out of socket. It's a very nice submission, very smart submission by Chris Iron, but there's Crossworthy battling back, and Crossworthy is just so strong. You see him pick up Iron like he is nothing.
And that was the power displayed perfectly right there of Crossworthy.
And you saw it last week when he had, when Iron had in that arm breaker, and Crossworthy with one arm just picks up Iron very easily, and now he has in that leg lock.
And week in and week out, we've talked about it multiple times. Every week, Chris Crossworthy is in there and impresses each and every week. I mean, the same can be said for Chris Iron, but Crossworthy is the same thing.
The Crossworthy, he's not been in the title picture, though. Iron has had his chances, and he's having another chance at Lethal Dosage. I would like to see the cool guy, if he retains at Lethal Dosage, face off against Chris Crossworthy.
And that'd be a heck of a match. I think that's a match we haven't seen yet here in CWR. You gotta wonder, Crossworthy could give the champion all he could handle.
Oh, and very smart move by Iron right there. Just sweeping the legs while Crossworthy was on that second rope.
A very back and forth contest here between these two men. Both these men trying to gain momentum heading into the Supercard Extravaganza Lethal Dosage.
You have to think Iron wants a lot of that momentum as he has a chance to get that championship off of the cool guy. And let's just hope that we have a clean finish, unlike the last few contests between those two. Jason Zero getting a little uneven advantage to the cool guy, but we have still yet to see him since he's lost his mask to the cool guy in the mask versus title match.
And heading into Lethal Dosage, we got a heck of a card. I mean, we've talked extensively about the I Quit match. Also, we'll have Adam McCarley versus Corona Joe in a hardcore match. And if he shows up, it will be Jason Zero versus Big D yet again.
You mentioned if he shows up. If he does not, he is going to be fired from CWR. Mr. Canton does not want any competitor scheduled on the card to not show up, and there's a zero tolerance policy on that. So if Jason Zero does not show up, he loses his job, and it could be over right here as Chris Crossworthy hits the crossover, drags him to the center of the ring, but I think that ring positioning was enough for Chris Iron to regain his composure to kick out.
It was almost enough. Chris Iron barely able to get his shoulder up before the 3 count there. Very fortunate he did. Chris Iron cannot afford a loss heading into his huge title match at Lethal Dosage.
Oh, and going for that black flip. That is what laid Iron, out on the outside after their match on the last show. But Iron, very smart, or maybe just lucky, and he got sent to the outside after that black flip.
That's very unfortunate for Crossworthy. That could have ended this match right here.
Fans getting behind Chris Iron there as he gets back in the ring just barely before the 10 count. But Crossworthy's staying on him here. Oh, and lifts up Chris Iron and slams him knee first into that mat. Crossworthy picking Iron up one more time. Face first into the turnbuckle.
I'm sensing some frustration from Crossworthy here. Obviously, he thought he probably would have won the match with the black flip there, but with Iron rolling out of the ring, he did not have the opportunity to go for the pinfall.
Now going for another cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Chris Crossworthy has to hit something big. Maybe he should go for that Northern Lights suplex. What's he going for here? Tosses him off the ropes, Irish whip. Oh, and you saw him do that to Woody the Clown, and that is an impressive maneuver. He just drives that forearm into the chest or face of his opponent. Now he has in that, it's a very unique maneuver.
Oh, and there you go, just grabbing the head of Iron and just stretching the body out, squeezing the air out of Iron there.
It's like a dragon sleeper, but with leg scissors.
It's a very impressive maneuver there.
Oh, but then he lets Iron up. I just don't understand. He gets a little frustrated, it seems, and he doesn't wait out his submissions. He wants it to be over right away.
Well, I think he felt maybe that move wasn't going to do it there. Maybe he's going to try something else.
Oh, but he should have kept it locked in. As you see, the Iron Cutter busted out of nowhere on Chris Crossworthy.
And that's the best thing about that move there of Irons. He can catch you out of nowhere, like you said with that move, and it usually puts people down for a 3 count.
But the Nightmare getting back up to his feet. I don't know if Iron got all of that Iron Cutter, but it sure got enough to shake Crossworthy at least. Iron back to his feet, both men back to their feet. Oh, and punch to the gut of Chris Crossworthy, but Crossworthy firing back. Now Iron one of his own. Another one from Iron. Now Iron getting the momentum. Oh, and
what a smack there.
Big uppercut. Now kick to the gut. Crossworthy sending him off the ropes. Oh, and a spinning wheel kick. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Not enough to put the Nightmare away.
Now Chris Iron showing some frustration here, unable to put the Nightmare away.
Iron has a few more moves in his arsenal, though. He has that code breaker. He can even go up to the top for a moonsault. Either one of those could be the move that puts Crossworthy away, if that does happen. Oh,
wait a minute.
Going for that black flip. Nope. And there it is. The code breaker. It could be over right here, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3.
And it does. The code breaker puts down Crossworthy, wins the match for Iron. Just like that, Iron puts him down, heading into the Lethal Dosage I Quit match with a heck of a lot of momentum on his side. That was a very impressive, much-needed victory for the #1 contender.
I agree with you there, but we got a good show still left. The main event is going to be a tag match. The main event, Adam McCarley, the cool guy, versus the Nexus. We will be right back.